Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the YouTube Creators Hub. Dusty here, as always, the host of the show, joined today by, I can consider him my friend now. This is his second time on the podcast, Dave Manny. Dave runs the Dave Manny YouTube channel. He was last on this show, beginning of March 2021. And he only had 33,000 subscribers. Well, now, fast forward a couple of, 2 or 3 years, he now has 137,000 subscribers, over 600 videos, looking to do this full-time now. So we're doing a follow-up interview, and we're going to talk about the growth of his channel, how he managed to do it so quickly, and so much more. Dave, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. So happy to be here once again.
Absolutely. Now, Dave lives in Kenya. Currently, that's where he resides. It's not where he's originally from, obviously, but he lives there currently. But in the future, this summer actually of 2024, they plan to go full-time content creation, living out of a suitcase, traveling it, and capturing it all on camera. Dave, what's been going on since the last time we chatted here on the podcast?
So many things, but just hearing you say that out loud is a little bit scary. So basically, like, since the last time we've talked, like you said, like over 600 videos, we've never missed an upload. I still work a full-time job. So juggling that full-time job and the YouTube gig for the past almost 4 years has been quite a challenge. But even though the channel itself is only Dave Manny on it, it's because my wife didn't want to do anything with it when I first started. It's very different now. And we're both working on this channel together towards a common goal. So that truly helps to where we are now and where we want to be in the future as well.
And your wife's name is Tracey, is that right?
Exactly.
Okay, so it's Dave and Tracey as they travel and go to different resorts, and they go to different places, on safaris, to the beach, anywhere and everywhere, and they vlog their experience, and they talk about the resort they stay at or the restaurants that they eat at. It really is a modern day TV show of you guys going and showcasing all of these things. Now, I will say this, I went back to one of your videos from March 2021 and watched it, and then I watched one of your most recent uploads. Holy cow. The quality of your videos have come so far. The thumbnails are just immensely better. The audio is so much better. The video that you capture, the B-roll, all the things that you're doing, you can tell that you've learned. If someone's listening to this and they want to grow or run or start a YouTube channel, in the past few years, what have you learned about not only yourself and your relationship with your wife, but about YouTube?
So many things. The evolution is definitely there. Yes, we upgraded the equipment and all these things. I've learned many new skills, especially with the equipment, how to use it, how to edit the audio and everything. But to be honest, it's truly, the secret is into repetition. We've been uploading 2 videos a week, every single week, since we arrived in Kenya over almost 4 years ago. And that is truly the one thing that helped. Plus, my wife and I are truly a team. Even though I still work a full-time job, after leaving her job in Canada when we moved here, she started to work full-time for us. So I do all the content creation side, and she does literally everything else, from the planning to finance, to emails, to working with brands and all these things. So I think that the doing YouTube with someone else is truly our secret. I think it makes it so much easier than doing it on your own.
Yeah, you have just double the manpower and all the things that one creator would do. So I would highly encourage you, before you go into a YouTube channel together in a partnership, obviously Dave and Tracey are married, so they have made a commitment to each other for life, obviously, so they're going to be together. But just be careful when you do that, because it could get a little muddy if you don't, 4 years from now, if you and that person have a falling out. But it's just so cool to hear about your and Tracey's journey. What have you learned about, let's just go down the line here. What have you learned about thumbnails? Because your thumbnails are so much better than they were back in 2021. What have you learned about thumbnails and designing them and getting people to click on your videos?
So first of all, I think that in the last few years, I became much better at photography in general. So I think that the main element of the thumbnail is that good photo. But then after that, I use, I edit those photos. And then for the thumbnail itself, it's important to have something that will attract curiosity from the people. We have a very solid audience and we're very lucky and I'm very grateful for that. So by putting my face and Tracey's face on the thumbnail, that became very important. Like our faces are basically our brand. And then normally maybe like, under like 3, 4 words that truly capture what you want this video to be about, and also that is not repeated in the title. I think that just like a total of us, a good background, and 2, 3 words, like a total of like 3 elements. I think those are really the best way to craft a thumbnail for us at least.
And how do you guys design your thumbnails? What are the tools that you use from start to finish?
So I take the photo with a camera. In terms of like a camera, I use a Sony A7S III with a 16-35 millimeter lens. Then I edit the photos in what is it called?
Is it Canva,
Not
Photoshop?
No, sorry, no, Lightroom. And then after that, to make us pop out a little more, if I want to use a different background and us from a different photo, then everything is put together at the end in Canva.
I love that. That's one of probably the better ways of doing it, is editing the photos, getting those the way you want them, then bringing them into the thumbnail tool like Canva that you're using. So I love that. Now, I want to
eventually I would love to learn Photoshop. That would be great. That's the next thing that I'm going to work with. I think that's going to be that is going to enable me to bring these thumbnails to the next level. But for now, it's been working really fine the way we're doing it.
Now, I want to ask you about retention, and you do rather long videos, 10, 20, sometimes even longer than that videos. How have you found that you are able to keep people engaged in the video? When I watched one of your newer videos, you've become so good at storytelling and talking about the location and the place that you're at and what you're doing and what you want to do. Can you discuss the elements of just keeping people on a video longer?
Yeah. So like you mentioned earlier, a lot of our videos are about our experiences, and we do a lot of safari camps. We do a lot of hotels and that kind of travel, basically. So we kind of have this formula where we first are going to say, our kind of our hook or punchline. We are here and this is why you care. Then we're going to go into a B-roll sequence just to kind of showcase the highlight of the video, what is to come ahead, and why people should, sit back, relax, grab a snack and watch the full video. And then because most of our video are kind of like similar in a way, even though the destination is different, what we're doing is kind of similar. We're trying to separate the video into first the room tour, then into food, activities, for example, resort tour, into again, like activities, because we do a lot of safaris videos. So like the days are kind of similar, but we're trying to make it look different. So a mistake that we were doing before is that we were doing, for example, the room tour and then the resort tour all together, which was very long and too much focus on the review itself without showing enough experience. So we're trying to have the perfect mix during the entire video between our experience and what the viewer would experience if they decide, for example, to go to that location.
Mm-hmm. And as far as the storytelling aspect goes, are you trying to, going into the video, are you trying to tell the story of your experience, or tell the story or history or backstory of the place that you're at? Like, what are you trying to do there? Because I know that really helps with keeping people there as well.
Definitely. So most of our videos right now, because we are location specific at this time, because of my full-time job, we are in Kenya. So we work with a lot of safari camps, with a lot of restaurant and different international hotel chain as well. So telling a story around around a resort or around a hotel is a little bit more difficult. So our videos by default become a little bit more informative, and our target audience for those videos are people who hopefully are basically planning to visit Kenya and are looking for ideas of places to eat, things to do, place to stay. With that being said, we are kind of in a transition. As you said earlier, we are planning on doing this full time. Within the last few years, every time we do videos outside of Kenya, this is where we do more adventure videos, where we climbed Kilimanjaro, we went to Ethiopia to live with tribes. This is where we truly try to get better at storytelling, because the long run is to do these kinds of more adventure travel and less location specific videos. So I find the two videos very different, but we are still trying to do our best to kind of tell our story of my wife and I experiencing the location right now. And then when we are able to do videos that are not location specific, then I go a little bit more about the history of the place, about the culture, about the food, what is the daily life of the people living there. And these are really the videos that we're thriving for, and hopefully going to be doing more of within the next few months.
Yeah, and I assume once you're able to do this full time and you can live out of a suitcase and travel to anywhere, basically, then you guys will be able to have unlimited content, because you can go to somewhere in Mexico or somewhere in Japan, and you can talk about all these different locations. And it just sounds so fun just talking about it, how it, nerve-wracking but exciting, right? Really living that digital nomad lifestyle, all of it kind of with the cog of YouTube being at the center of it. You mentioned a couple of mistakes that you've made on the channel. Can you let the audience know, in the past few years, what are some mistakes that you've made that you think have maybe slowed down the channel growth, or you could have grown quicker if you wouldn't have done these things?
I think one of the biggest mistakes was I didn't give enough importance to identifying the right audience. So when we first started to make videos, and we started to make a lot of reviews, like you saw, about restaurants and all these things, and our videos became very, very informative, and we kind of lost our experience in some of those videos, and that was a big mistake, because now a big part of our audience are people looking to travel to the location where we are. And once those people book those trips, they have no reason to come back to the channel unless they are planning to go to that location once again, or another location that we've been to. So right now we are slowly trying to do a transition. We still want to keep the information, because we still want people to watch our channel to plan their own travel, their own adventure, but we want to also focus on experiences that will also appeal to people that are not looking to travel. They're just on their lunch break, they're curious about the world, and they're just looking for entertainment. And I think that by widening our audience a little bit like that, we're going to have a following that is much more interested in all the content that we do, because sometimes right now with the content that we do in Kenya does very well because we are known for this location, but sometimes when we go do video series in other countries, people don't have interest. So I think that we need to kind of properly identifying your audience at the beginning would have made a big change in our audience today. And yeah, I think we would be in a different place. We are in a great place, don't get me wrong. But I think that we would have a following that's a little bit more loyal and less looking for only information and watching for us more than the hotel that we are at, for example.
Yeah, building the community around Dave and Tracey, right? Like the brand being you guys, of they want to follow your escapades, your journeys, your travels, as opposed to, come in, hey, we're planning a trip to Qatar, and we want to see kind of where all the hot spots are that Dave recommends and Tracey recommends. Now they're going to come to your channel every upload on Wednesdays and Saturdays whenever you upload a video, because they're going to say, what's Dave and Tracey? What are they up to now? Where are they going?
Exactly.
I want to follow them on their journey. I love that. Identifying audience is key. As far as the way that you're building community. Can you talk about that? Community building, maybe even outside of YouTube, but obviously YouTube being at the center of it. How have you guys, and this may be more like what Tracey does for you guys, but as far as building the community outside of YouTube, how are you fostering that and growing that, and what effects does that have on the YouTube channel?
So first of all, even to this day, we get 6, 7, 800,000 views a month. I still answer every single comment, and because of
Wow.
that, you can tell like people are always coming back. And sometimes like once in a while you'll see comment like, I bet Dave is going to answer this one too. So I think that really helped our community. And people to stick around, because it's a way for us to show that if you give us a minute of your time to write us a comment, we'll take a minute of our time to answer it. So that was very important in our community building, and we're trying to. We are not very consistent with this, and our audience is truly asking for it. But we're trying to do a little bit more of live streaming. People seems to very much appreciate it, and we also appreciate it. As well, because it's kind of like hanging out with friends. So I think that those two elements within the past few years truly help people to be more than just a number on the screen.
Yeah, and let's talk about that, the live streaming. You guys seem to do that every few months. You're not, you don't do it consistently every week, which honestly, for me, if I was coaching you on YouTube, I would say if you're getting 5, 6,000, 7, 8, 10,000 views on the VOD, on the recording of the stream, you could be making a lot of money doing these live streams, especially doing travel. And when you're doing it full time, you'll be able to do like recaps. Like if you're at a location, let's say Canada, you can say, okay, here's our Q&A for the Canada trip. And people can come in and ask you questions, and you can monetize that stream, and you can get super chats and memberships and all these different things. So what are the ways that you guys are making money? Okay, because if you're able to do this full time, obviously you got to support yourself. This has to be something that you have to have some type of financial support somehow. So talk about all of the different revenue streams that you guys have and break those down for me.
Yeah, so I wish I could tell you that I'm YouTube rich, but we are not. So basically, like for the moment, we have two main streams of revenue. Obviously, we are monetized on YouTube. That accounts for about 45% of our revenue. The other 45% comes from sponsorship. We've been working with many companies for the past few years, which has been great. And about like 10% of like miscellaneous, from a little bit of merch sale, from affiliate marketing, and things like that. But our two main split are pretty much like they've been equal in 2023, according to our taxes. But yeah, mainly YouTube AdSense and sponsorships.
And as far as a channel that gets 6, 7, 800,000 views, a vlog channel, longer form content like you guys, don't give me exact numbers, but like what's on average like a month that you might get from AdSense revenue, and then what might be a normal month for sponsorships?
Okay, it varies a lot because our views, like I was explaining earlier, depending on location where we go and things like that. For example, like last year, we had months anywhere from 500,000 views to 1.6 million. So the AdSense there is very different. And our audience is extremely international. So we don't have big percentage in like North America and in Europe. Everything is in about like 10% of like most countries. So our AdSense is about $2,000 to $3,000 a month in AdSense, and then in terms of sponsorship is similar to that as well.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. And I can only see that going up as you guys begin to do this full time, and you're able to dedicate even more time to what you guys are doing, right? You could do memberships of, giving people more of a back end look of what you're doing. And there's so many things that you guys can open up to once you're able to dedicate your entire day and time to it, right? And taking that jump and that leap is scary. So that's going to be my next question for you as we kind of near the end of the interview. What made you make this decision? Was it, you said, hey, I have enough money saved up, or hey, Tracey, you and I, we've been doing this for a while now. Let's kind of give it a go full time and see what we can do. What made you make this decision, and what were some things that you put in place to make sure that you're able to be successful once you do so?
So, so it's been our dream to do that since even before starting the channel. Traveling has been our passion since forever. We've been working on this channel for 4 years, and we've been working on it so hard and juggling between my full-time job, which is in an office here in Nairobi, Kenya, 40 hours a week, but I edit every single night. We are out on the road every single weekend to film video. So the number of sacrifices that we had to do to make this happen, and sacrifices in my marriage as well, but because we are working towards a common goal, I think that was the secret sauce for us. But we've put thousands and thousands of hours. We were able to put some money aside as well. We are making, we are not YouTube rich, but we make enough money that we can sustain ourselves by traveling, especially in like places in like Africa and in East Asia, where cost of living is much lower and our dollar can go much further. So right now we are in the perfect situation. We don't have kids yet, so we are like at the perfect age. We are at the perfect place, the financial side as well. So if we don't give it a real shot right now, we're going to regret it for the rest of our lives. So we are kind of giving ourselves like 1 or 2 years to see if we can like truly make it a full-time living for the both of us out of YouTube. And eventually, we want kids. Like, will that be enough? And you know what? If not, and if it doesn't work for some obscure reason, we'll never regret doing that, and we'll just go back to where we were before.
Yeah, and I believe it's going to work. I have no doubt in my mind, knowing you guys, knowing the content, and people who work hard and are dedicated to it like you are, and you're not wasting any time. Like you said, you're working during the day, you're editing at night. I mean, you already have the work ethic in place, and so going forward with the channel, that's really the biggest deal. What has been the biggest change that you've seen in YouTube since when you started till now? Like, what's different about it? 4 years fast forwarded, 2020 to 2024. That's a long time. What have you noticed as far as like things that work now that didn't then, and vice versa, in regards to the platform?
When I first started, like, I feel like all my videos were in the description, in the title, and what I was saying in the video, everything was very SEO focused. Wish that doesn't really work anymore. Like, for some reason, don't ask me why, I still put tags in all my videos, knowing that it doesn't do any difference. But I'm like, if there's a bug there, might as well put something in it.
I do too, yeah.
So basically, like, as much as everything was SEO focused a few years ago, now I really, really am doing a special effort to put a caption that will interest people, put a title that will interest people, something that will cut their eye. Because most of my views are coming from the homepage, from recommended, and surprisingly, like, not as much as I would expect from search. So SEO is dead, and optimize for humans.
Yeah, optimize for humans. I think that SEO is critical for certain types of channels, but for a channel like you, it's not. It shouldn't be top of mind. YouTube, it's the way that the platform works is completely different than it was 4 years ago. All you heard about back then was keyword stuffing the description and the title and this and that. And now it's more about what we already know about data, about keeping people on the video longer, identifying your audience, like what we talked about earlier, and having them stay on platform longer. So stay on YouTube. YouTube just wants them to be there to see more ads, right? That's their business model. And so you're there to kind of help them with that, to create good content, right? And that's really what it comes down to, right? Is creating valuable, entertaining, educational content that your audience that you've targeted want to see each and every time, and be consistent with that. And I think that's going to be my last question for you, Dave, is that even with your busy schedule now, are there any tips you can give about staying consistent and uploading 2 days a week like you guys do? What are some systems you've put in place to make sure that happens week after week?
I wish I had a system, but I'm just doing it. And we do nothing else but YouTube. But on the positive side, it is truly a passion. Like, I do not regret any late night, any long weekend filming or anything like that. Like, there's nothing else I want to do than making the content. And I think that the passion is truly what drives me and what, you know, made me make 2 videos a week for the past many years without ever missing an upload. So passion is king.
Yeah, if you don't have that, you're going to finally eventually come to a point to where you're just ready to quit, and you're never going to see the success that Dave and Tracey have seen, because you're going to lose that fire inside of you of wanting to share your message or share your entertainment or education or whatever you're trying to put out there to the world. You really got to have that passion, or else you're going to lose sleep at night thinking, what am I going to upload tomorrow, right? You don't have any ideas because you have no ideas. So I love that. Can you tell us, I'll just let everyone know, it's Dave Mani, M-A-N-I, over on YouTube. It was episode 244 that we had Dave on last time, and this time it is going to be episode 387. So it's been hundreds of episodes since we've had him on, and back then he was just getting going, but right now he is about to embark on a full-time journey on YouTube. And so I love seeing people start recently, 4 years ago, and do this thing full-time, because people ask me all the time, Dave, is it possible to start and grow a YouTube channel right now in 2024? I tell them absolutely. What would your answer to that question be?
100%. You know, less and less people are watching TV every single year. There's more eyes on YouTube, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. So no matter what your passion is, somebody is going to be interested in whatever you have to say about it as well.
And what would your final words be to the listeners of the show who are looking to start, grow, or monetize their YouTube channel? What would you tell them?
Just do it, but do not do it for the money, because that's way down the line. Do it because you're passionate about it. That's the main reason why we are doing travel content. If tomorrow YouTube dies, I'll still be filming my weekend with my wife.
Love it. Absolutely wonderful. Dave, as always, you've been a wonderful guest. We had you on in 244. We had you on here at 367. I say we have you on at about 500, 525 and see how the full-time thing's going.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, Dave. Thank you again, my friend.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.